There you go.
Yes, that worked. Mhm.
Okay, let me I'm trying to get the PowerPoint to enlarge and it's not doing it. Oh, can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So anything for you, sir? Because I plan on asking for money later on, so I gotta be nice to you. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the virtual parents and cadet orientation to encampment. What can be expected? And also at the very end, we will excuse me, we will allow time for Q&A. Hopefully, the commandant will log in as well as Captain Parton. But I know that the cadet commander, pardon me, is on the line as well. So that's a good thing. First of all, let me first welcome the parents and cadets. This gives you an overview as to what you can expect coming into the encampment, so there's no big shocking surprises. With the understanding that there's no way for me to cover everything that's going to happen at encampment in this presentation. I just want to give you the generalized information that will help you feel a little bit more comfortable, more relaxed on this. First, let me introduce a few people real quick. Of course, we got the wing commander on the line. He will be Colonel Gracious. He will be at encampment. He's the finance officer during the encampment, and his lovely wife is on the line as well. She is going to be in charge. She's the OIC of the administration section of encampment. We have Lieutenant Colonel Stern, who's my deputy director of cadet programs from Louisiana, and he's helping set up the transportation and the vans and things of encampment and so on and so on. And then we got Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Aceves. He is the cadet commander. He's on the line. It'll give the cadets and parents to ask him questions as well. Who else do I have on the line that I can't see all the pictures? Oh, Lieutenant Nelson is on the line as well. He's one of the seniors on staff.
Good day, everyone.
Oh, nice, thank you. Let's see if I can scroll down real quick and find others. Major Soro is going to help out the first few days of encampment, help out administration and do the check-in and the contraband issues. So that's Major Soro. She is also on Wing Cadet Program staff. She is the goddess of our O-Flight program. So I've tasked her to help keep an eye and help support the squadrons to get O-Flights going. And ever since I brought her on board, I've been well behaved. Ever since I brought her on board, the orientation rise has just continued to be on the rise, which is awesome. In fact, we're looking much better region-wise as well. And let's see who else. Lieutenant Ergo is on the call. I'm sorry. He is our encampment executive officer, and he will oversee all of the seniors on board. Did you want to say something, sir?
No, just good morning. How are y'all this morning?
Oh, I'm doing good if I can get rid of this coughing.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's see, who else do I see here? Is there any other encampment senior staff on board that I have not introduced? Oh, I see Lieutenant Townsend is on the line. Lieutenant Townsend is the DCC over at Ascension, but during encampment, she's going to be a training officer. She's also the chief training officer as well. She's got lots of experience with the Louisiana Wing encampments in the past and has done a wonderful job. So welcome.
And Captain Creel's on the line also, but I don't know if she can mute or unmute.
Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling down. Oh, there's you remember Jolyn Ergel as well. She's on board. She's on encampment staff as well. Let's see.
Colonel Tryman's on the line.
Ah, yes. Okay, Lieutenant Colonel Tryman is on the line. He is the commandant of cadets for the encampment. So you'll be able to hit him up with a bunch of questions as well as we get towards the end of it. Okay, if I missed anybody, I'll try to get back to them so I don't miss anybody. So we're gonna go ahead and press on now with the presentation. Of course, welcome again to the parents and cadets, and thank you cadets for logging in. I'm glad to see you on this call. All right, so here, Keesler Air Force Base. This is where we're gonna be. This area right here, this is Irwin Manor. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. And as you can see, one of the most important thing is there's the dining facility right next door. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump. And then we're gonna have, well, I'll show you later on, we'll have some running tracks and everything else that's nearby. A lot of stuff will be walking distance to us. You'll see the Keesler Triangle Pool. We're trying to see if we can have use of that. So we're still waiting to hear back. There's the Triangle Chapel right here. And the Welsh Theater, which we put in a request to be able to use that for the main welcoming meeting that we're gonna have. And this is the ideal location because it'll fit everybody. And right in this area here is where they want us to park the vans and everything. So it's gonna be around these two areas right here. Okay, next slide. Dining hall, DFAC, salad bar, located to the left as you walk in. That was just to show you that they do have a salad bar, healthy food. And cadets will have a choice of getting a main meal, or if they just want to have a salad for the day, that's fine. The main thing is that we will insist that cadets eat 3 meals a day. They will be busy doing things all day. They're gonna get hungry anyway, so I don't foresee that as a major issue. Here's another view of the child line at DFAC. It's almost like you're going to a regular food court. Now there is 2 sides to it. One is pre-cooked food, prepared food, and the other one is special order. Unfortunately, because of our time restrictions and we don't want to interfere with the active duty, we want to make sure that we get in and out as quickly as possible. So we're going to be sending the cadets through the pre-cooked food line rather than the specialty food, because we don't have the time to wait for things to be special order. Now, down here, it says there's only 1 cashier, so we want to make sure that we follow the procedures as outlined. When you get to encampment, they will remind you again, please follow those procedures. The encampment finance officer, which is Colonel Iglesias, he will be writing the check the next morning for the previous day's meal. So I'm sure he wants to see things smoothly. I am asking the seniors this year, they're restricted to the same thing that we tell the cadets. Anything special that they want to get, they're gonna have to go ahead and pay for it out of their own pocket. Sorry, seniors. But again, their restriction is that the specialty items and all that is really a no-go because we don't have time to wait. So specialty items might be if they want an extra drink or whatever the deal is. They'll pay for that. Let me press on. There's another view of DFAC. So as you can see, there'll be plenty of choices and it's no different than a food court. Very nice. And this is the DFAC, the seating area. Well, I don't know why my slides came out that way with the wording, but anyway. But as you can see, it's not it's not huge. So we want to make sure that we try to stay out of the way of the active duty. They do have priority in the DFAC line. So same as we've always done every year, if they're coming in and they're trying to fall behind us, we're gonna let them skip through the line and go in the front of the line for those that are in uniform. Oh, all my wording went crazy. Okay. Anyway, this is the front of the Irwin Manor where we are staying. And as you can see, it has a beautiful entrance. This is a large pad that they can do morning formations there. And we're gonna have two wings. This is one wing. This is the other wing on the first floor only. There's a third wing that goes out to the side over here. We're not in that area at all, just this side and this side. All right, what you're seeing is this right here. That's what this is. And does anybody know what that is? Any cadets? No? Okay. Those are called tow bars. And what, Tech Sergeant, you have your hand raised? Are you there?
Sorry, sir. It's where you put your feet under to do curl ups and sit ups, right?
Perfect. Excellent. Yes, that's what that's for. Now there is another area that has that as well. That's probably better, especially for the back because this is concrete. But I'll show you that here in a few minutes. Good job. Thank you, sir. Okay, this is as you walk into the lobby. This is the lobby of Irwin Manor. Interesting graphics, but it's a very nice place, very clean. When we walk in, it's gonna be clean, and when we walk out, it will be clean. Now this area right here is the medical section, but right now it is off limits to us. This is for the active duty folks that are staying in that building. And this is Tech Sergeant Ford. She's the one that's helping us out with getting things organized and helped us get extra beds that we were begging for. This is just another view of the front desk. The first view you were looking at this side here. This is one of the conference rooms that's in Irwin Manor. Right now it seats 50. You can probably put a few more chairs back here, but right now it is set up for 50 people, and it is right there at Irwin Manor, which is awesome. And as you can see, they have it set up to where you can show slides and everything else up on the screens. Okay, I hate to tease you with this one. They do have a little break room and with an ice machine. However, these two machines are totally off limits to cadets. The ice machine is also off limits to the cadets, with the exception of the support staff. They might be asked to get ice and all that, but soft drinks, I will tell you, will not be allowed. And in fact, parents that's on this call, we highly encourage you to make sure that your cadets are staying away from soft drinks at least the first 2 weeks prior to encampment, because we have seen in past years where cadets are just addicted to soft drinks and everything else, and energy drinks as well. And it's hard to come off of that. I've seen some cadets will actually get the shakes and headaches and everything else because of withdrawal. So at least 2 weeks prior to encampment, you want to stop them from doing all that, to include the energy drinks, because you won't have access to energy drinks either during encampment. All right, this area here is the office spaces that we have. The picture on the right, mainly it's for a single person, and that's the commandant, the Captain Parton. If they need to meet with an individual, they'll meet in here, with the understanding, cadets and parents, that when they have to bring a cadet into this room to meet, they will be second senior there, and that's for cadet protection. Okay. Doesn't mean that every time they get called in here, they're in trouble. Just know that when they get called in here, they will be 2 seniors at all times. All right, this copier right here for the seniors on staff and everything else, we don't know, and I doubt that we'll have usage of that, but I have asked our favorite wing commander, you know, if we can purchase a new printer for us, because the other one had died on us at the last encampment.
It has been done, sir.
You are awesome.
I know.
All right, thank you. Okay, this is the administration office, so you can see there's several chairs there. So the entire administrative staff will be in this area here. Lieutenant Ergo, executive officer, you know, you oversee the seniors, so this will be your area right here, and then the rest of the staff will be here and here. You can bring your own laptop. However, there is no Wi-Fi or public Wi-Fi in that building. You'd have to bring your own hotspot. And there's another thing that you can purchase while you're there, and I'll let the commandant talk about that here. Actually, now, Colonel Timon, do you know anything about that for purchase thing? They named it. I just never heard of it.
It's just, I've seen that particular company offer Wi-Fi before through Omaha's airport, actually uses the same service. So it's just a pay per session or and by device type deal. So yeah, if any adult members, any cadre members want additional internet, it's going to have to be via that method.
Lieutenant Colonel Santana.
Yes, hold on a second.
Nelson here. Real quick, I'll have a modem that the admin section can use. So we'll just go off of my modem because it can take up to 3 computers, I think, for the 3 of us and Lieutenant Oracle. So our section plus him can just use my modem. So that should help right there.
That's awesome. We appreciate that. I may also send my modem over to you guys to use as well. I'll have to buy an air card, but normally what I've done in the past is I'll use my modem, and of course I'll put it under the non-contract. Usually for about $80, it does the job throughout the encampment, and it could service up to 8 computers at one time. So I might do that. That way nobody has to purchase anything extra or whatever the deal is. If that's okay with Colonel Iglesias.
Well, all that being said, for parents and cadets, it's somewhat irrelevant as students will have no need for and should not bring internet capable devices anyway. So
Correct.
they're not going to have any access. They're not going to be on the internet. They're not going to be doing anything like that. So this is all just behind the scenes stuff for the cadre that we can work out
Right.
at some other time.
Okay, next slide. Thank you, sir. Next slide. This is the other area I was telling you about that does have the tow bars. And this is artificial turf, I believe. And then they have a real nice running track. So we'll be in this area here to do some PT work. I'll let the commandant later on at the end talk about PT. We decided to change the timing of the PT, and I think you all will be happy about that. All right, now we get into more of the building. This is Levital, which is right next door really to Irwin Manor where we're staying. So you can see there's more shaded seating area out here, and there's bleachers over here. When we get there, they'll look at an area that is best for us to use for pass and review. I will tell you that interest in a pass and review, in that the installation commander and the squadron commander, where he's responsible for where we're staying, they have expressed an interest in being at our pass and review. That's it. later on, we'll also talk about expectations, grooming standards, and so on. All right, this is
That concrete area that was right there, that's part of a very large drill pad in front of Levittown.
okay, great. So that's possible use for passing review?
That's would actually be the preferred place for the pass and review.
Okay, all right. So we'll get a little bit more on that later. I'll email Tech Sergeant Ford, get a confirmation. Okay, this is the second conference room. This is not in Irwin Manor, I believe. Is that right, Colonel Stern?
That is correct. This is part of our in
Levittown.
Levittown Hall. It's just down the hall from Tech Sergeant Ford's office.
Yeah, so this one also seats 50. So as you can see, we have two separate conference rooms, meeting rooms that we can use. All right, the rooms. Yay, this is what all the cadets wanted to see, right? We have two types of rooms. We have a room with two beds, and then we have a room where basically the students will be staying in. They're gonna have two bunk beds. So there's 4 to that room. However, on a good note, if you look at the picture on the left, you can see it's like a hotel room. And there is carpeting there. This area here to the left of this picture, you'll see that there's going to be some sinks there. To the right of it, there's a closet that you see in the picture as well. And then there's also a private restroom. So there's a private toilet area. It's got sinks and it's got an individual stand-up shower. And so you no longer have to have open bay showers. Yay. All right, so now it's private. That's on a good note. The bad note is that's more for the cadets to clean because it needs to stay clean. Okay, this is a little closer view of the two bed type rooms. Most of the seniors and the cadet cadres will be staying in this type of room. We have asked for the microwaves and refrigerators to be removed, and they are doing so because cadets are not allowed to have any drinks or food or anything in the rooms. And so there's no use for a microwave either. So we want to remove temptation. Sorry, cadets. The other thing is, take note, it is carpeted in that area. So that needs to be kept clean. We will have access to vacuum cleaner. There's absolutely no shoe polishing anywhere inside the building. You're gonna have to go outside if you want to polish your boots. We don't want to ruin any of this carpeting. We don't want to ruin any of the floors inside the building, nothing, because you saw the earlier pictures, it is immaculate building. We want to be able to go in there, use it, and when we leave, it's like we were never there. That's my expectation. All right, that's just another view. So there's plenty of drawers in the rooms. These are the restrooms. This is the restroom. You can see there's 2 sinks there. In here is the toilet area. And then the picture on the right just shows the shower, individual shower area. So you'll have your privacy. With that said, parents, we expect the cadets to be taking showers. So there's no, oh, I'm gonna today. No, every day they will get the showers. No excuses. Here it is right here. This is gonna be the four bedrooms where the students are staying. The only difference is that they don't have the drawers or nothing on this side here. These are 2 individual lockers. Now, what we asked for was to see if we can get more beds so we wouldn't have to turn down as many cadets as we had to now anyway. So they went ahead and got the confirmation that as of Wednesday, they started to move extra beds in here. So now you have 2 sets of bunk beds in each of those rooms. So there's gonna be 4 to a room. Now, this room still is the same designed as the 2-bedroom. So you can see over here is where that hallway is, what I showed you earlier. So yes, there's still the private shower, there's still the private commode, there's still the 2 individual sinks, and there's still the closet that's there as well. So the rooms are just excellent. Okay, now we're gonna get into some COVID-19 stuff. Anything can change at a moment's notice, so we have to be prepared when it comes to the COVID. So we're gonna continue to be aware of safe health precautions, just in case. Everyone, I hope you notice that on the packing list, there is a minimum requirement that you bring 2 cloth type of face masks. The reason for cloth is because they're washable and they're reusable. We don't want any of the paper type of cloth or paper type of face. You want to have a minimum of 2. The reason for that is because there might be some restrictions in certain places that they're going to want us to wear masks, or even though the state of Mississippi may go to not requiring masks, the Department of Defense has authorized individual installation commanders to mandate their own restrictions. They can't make it less, but they can certainly make it stronger or stricter. Right. So at any time, the incident commander may say, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm implementing the requirement to wear a mask. But we have to be prepared to do that. Every member should bring personal hand sanitizer. You should be sanitizing your hands constantly, as much as you can. We will be doing temperature checks, and those will be conducted daily prior to morning formations. They will be done by a TO. I am not designating any cadre to do the temperature check. It has to be done by a senior. Most likely it will be the training officers of each flight will be doing their own. The encampment XO, which is Lieutenant Ergo, he will do the seniors, or he can designate one senior to do it for all the other seniors. So everybody will have temperature checks. Common areas in room will be sanitized each day. And then showers. Although they're individual, there is a requirement that you will have to wear shower slippers when you go to the shower, when you go in the shower. There is also for safety and health, anywhere outside of your rooms, you will definitely be required to have some footwear. Socks is not considered footwear. So if you're gonna go out to your room just in socks, go back in and get slippers or put on shoes or sneakers or something, but you cannot walk around barefoot. We will be doing blister checks as well. Is that correct, Colonel Tryman?
That is correct.
Thank you, sir. All right, and then commenters, slippers, okay, cover that. All right, DFAC is something that I take very serious because we are guests and Keesler is our host. So we want to show our appreciation as much as possible, showing that we're professional, respectful, and thankful for what they're supplying. So at DFAC, as always, we will not impede active duty, as I said earlier, going through the child line. If they're in uniform, they have priority. Seniors was out here that we talked about that. The goal is to get in and out as quietly and quickly as possible, so that we don't interrupt the flow of the active duty members. Remember, they do take priority for obvious reasons. And due to heat, we want all participants to drink Gatorade at least once per day. 2 is best. So we're gonna allow the cadets to have Gatorade at least once or twice per day. Water is gonna be the main thing, but if there's anybody here in the medical field area, you know that if you just drink water, that's fine for hydration, but it doesn't replenish the electrolytes. Gatorade does. And then I expect all to be respectful to the DFAC staff. I'm asking all seniors, make sure, because I'm insisting that cadets using the term yes ma'am and yes sir, as well as as to say thank you when their meal is served, is what I expect all the cadets to do. Okay, uniforms, like I said, after I get done with my portion, I'm gonna open up the Q&A, and I know most of those questions will be answered by your commandant and your cadet commander. I expect everyone to meet all grooming standards. I'm gonna repeat that again. I expect everyone to meet all grooming standards. Remember, we are on an active military base, and we want to set the tone from day one. And when I talk about grooming standards, haircuts, every cadet that shows up to an encampment should already be in proper grooming standards. If they are not, what we're gonna do is, we may have to, if we have to take them to get a haircut, which is not what we want to do, but if we must, we will. The charge will be on the squadrons, and then of course the squadron will charge the parent. But
Mr. Santana,
yes,
I have a question.
yes.
One, were those sheets on the beds?
Oh, that's a good question. They are going to supply the linens to all the beds, including pillows. I've already asked that question. However, me personally, I would encourage everyone to bring a set of bed sheets, not fitted bed sheets. If you want to bring an extra pillow, you can. But Irwin Manor will be supplying all the linens and the pillows.
Okay, and then on the towels, are they allowed to bring more than just 2 towels and 2 washcloths?
Yes, what's on the packing list is actually the minimum. They can bring more.
Okay,
I recommend not bringing a lot of extra stuff though, because while there's storage space for the cadets and things like that, it's not going to be plentiful. So, and cadets are going to have to carry their stuff to their rooms and such. 2 towels should be sufficient so that they can basically use one every other day. So if you really need it, you can, but there's also inspection presentation and things like that. So it will be a matter of, there's not a lot of extra storage. So what's on the list is everything that they need, unless you have some specific reason that they need something else.
And
Okay.
there are laundry machines in there, so we'll be taking care of the laundry schedules and stuff. But the commandant is correct. If they bring too much, then that's more they have to carry. And some things may not fit in the drawers for inspection and all that, so they may have to leave it inside their suitcase or duffel bag, whatever they bring. So just be cautious, be aware of that. You know, the more you pack, the more you're asking the cadets to load up and carry their packages and everything else. So the commandant is correct. All right, shoes/boots clean and polished every day. All right, we're like I said, we're active duty, so we want to make a good impression. And you know that BDUs is already outdated now, so ABUs is the thing to wear. Okay, behavior. All students are expected to conduct themselves in a professional manner at all times, including like Cadet Aceves I've known for many, many years. He is Cadet Aceves or Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Aceves. He's not Andrew. So address yourselves in a professional manner, rank and last name. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and so on. And cadets is not just you. I said this to the senior staff as well. We all need to follow the guideline. Rooms are to be kept in inspection order, and you'll hear more about that later. No horse training rooms or any place during encampment at all. If you are told to stop, you stop. If you continue to repeat, those are violations, and violations can eventually get you removed from encampment, no credit. And just so you know, cadets, if you are removed from encampment, what you're doing is having your parents having to come pick you up at their expense and take you back home. I don't think your parents deserve that. I don't think they would be happy about that. So help us help you. cadets may not enter another cadet room without the knowledge of the training officer. There's no reason for you to go into someone else's room. I'd be respectful. And absolutely at no time will mixed gender be in rooms at all. If it does happen, it will be with the presence of the training officer. And it is for training purposes, or whatever they may deem, but it can only happen with a training officer present. With all due respects to the cadre, the cadet cadre, it has to be a senior present when there's mixed gender in the room.
Lieutenant Colonel
and-
Santana,
Yes,
I'm sorry, are these rules going to be gone over with the cadets when they get on the campus?
oh, yes.
Okay, they will
That's
hear
gonna
them
be-
first thing.
Oh, yeah. That'll be day one briefing. The first thing that they'll get is a welcoming and introduction briefing, and they're gonna go over the safety, the health, the do's and don'ts as well.
Okay,
Good
thank you.
question. Thank you. Oh, no, thank you. All right. And of course, the last one here was, cadets may be sent home for violations. Also note that any continued violations, even prior to being sent home, your squadron commanders will be made aware of it. Your squadron leadership will be made aware of it as well. But I don't suspect we'll get to that point. I think LA Wing cadets are pretty good at that. We haven't had major issues that way, except for one time in the past, I'd say 5 years. So we've been doing pretty good, but I need to let you know up front what the standards are. Okay, we're gonna talk about self-medication, the suites, the laundry violation, and so on and so on. So, medication, you all signed the form as part of the application. It is, Show Laboratory has gone to self-medication. Okay, that means the cadets must medicate themselves. With that said, when you come into in processing, make sure that medication is in its original container. I would highly recommend you put it all in a Ziploc clear bag, because during check-in, we have to annotate what medications you're carrying on you and you will have in the room as well. So have that handy. And like I said, everything must be in its original container. Even if you buy something for the counter, like let's say you have to bring Tylenols, must be in its original container. No sweets or sodas. Commandant, do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that or no?
I think it's pretty clear. So
Okay. All
I
right, and-
do have a
Yes, ma'am.
question.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, did you say that they're going to keep this medication and supplements in their own rooms?
Yes, that's according to national headquarters.
Okay, can they have water in their rooms then in order to be able to take them with?
There'll be access to water because Irwin Manor also has a drinking fountain, and plus each room has a sink, so they need to fill like a canteen or whatever. They can fill it right there.
Lieutenant Colonel Santana, can I elaborate on the medication policy real quick?
Uh,
Briefly?
Yeah, briefly, go ahead.
Okay, what it just says basically, as a corporation, senior members cannot administer medication. We're not responsible for that because it says it in the regulation that if you have any medication, cadets have to do it on their own. That's what it says per the regulation. Corporation of senior members are not responsible.
Right. Thank you, sir. Okay, so yeah, so they'll be drinking water there and everything for them to take the medication. Now, they are responsible for self-medication, even though we're going to annotate what the medication is and the times you're supposed to take it, but they are the sole responsible person for the medication. If we find out that the cadets are not taking the medication as prescribed, we will communicate that with the cadet. We will also let the squadron commander know so that the parents can be contacted. Violation.
Okay. I'm
Yes, ma'am.
sorry. One
No,
more
that's okay.
thing. My son does take some supplements. He will be a cadet on campus.
Okay.
But I didn't write that on his form. What do I need to do? Bring a list with me that I signed? I'm sorry, I
No,
didn't get it on his.
just as long as you let us know, you can even do something as quickly as shoot us an email and we'll put it in his file. Let us know
Okay.
that it's okay.
I will do that.
Now, if
Okay,
the
great.
medication is in its original container and is prescribed by a doctor, it'll have all the instructions there. If it's
Yes,
something over the
yes.
counter, yeah, we need to know.
Okay, thank
And
you.
cadets, oh, you're welcome. And cadets on the call, you cannot share any information. So even if it's something as simple as Tylenol, you cannot share your Tylenol with another cadet at all. Right? Inhalers. There was 1 year where a cadet left his inhaler at home, didn't tell us anything, and he needed to use it. So one of the cadets in their room had an inhaler, they let them use it, and the cadet wound up in the emergency room. So again, pass the word, you do not share any medication to include over-the-counter medication with any other cadet. We talked about cadets not entering rooms with officers, talk about that. In processing, Commandant Executive Officer, do you have anything you want to say about the in processing?
So the purpose of in processing is to get cadets into the encampment efficiently. So we want to make sure that folks don't forget things in vehicles or vans or things like that. So cadets will be checking in. So it's going to be a matter of there. There will also be parents' meetings available. So we'll have 3 sessions, one at 13:30. I'm sorry, I think I'd have to double check. It's about, yeah, like 13:30, 1400 and 14:30. So 1:30 to 2 and 2:30. You're welcome to come there. You'll be able to, we'll have a display room where you can see exactly how that's being set up. You'll be able to ask me any questions, say goodbye to the cadet, anything like that, if you're transporting cadets yourselves. And then they will be responsible for getting their baggage to their appropriate room. One thing that Colonel Santana did not mention about the rooms is that they have cipher locks, electronic cipher locks on them. So what the plan we're expecting is that cadets will have the combination for their room and their room alone. The training officers will have access to the combinations for cadet rooms, so that if there's an emergency or something like that, we will be able to get into the room if absolutely necessary. And then the deputy commander and myself will have combinations for rooms as well, again, if there's an emergency. And as an absolute last case, the Air Force is able to get into the rooms. So we don't have to worry about any of that. That being said, the rooms will be locked because it is a shared space. So when we're not there, rooms will be closed and locked. So there's that aspect. And then after cadets have been in processed and they have dropped off their luggage and all of that, they'll be heading to, they'll be meeting their flight commander and cadet training instructor. And that there'll be kind of in a holding pattern, for lack of a better phrase. They'll get to meet other members from their flight and things like that. And then after that will be the welcome and opening announcements, and then the introduction to training. There's a portion there called the honor agreement where they'll be introduced to the challenges of what they can expect from encampment. And that's kind of a last chance. If cadets really aren't sure, we can talk with them, but that's for them to commit to completing the encampment. Since we know we have some young cadets, it can be a little daunting. So we have that. I know on there it also has phone calls. So one part of in processing as well is if cadets arrive with someone other than their parent, they will call home. This is not going to be a very long conversation. We're looking at more at about the 2-minute mark at most. We have about 80 plus students to process through, so we can't be having long calls. It's really just a, hey, I've made it. I'm okay. And if they forgot anything, that's their chance to tell you so that you can mail it to us. And we'll work out the details of exactly how they can mail things if someone forgot something. So that's the purpose of all of that. We will have a cadre kind of directing folks to the appropriate places to park and then drop off. As I said, it's all about just getting cadets through efficiently, and then the encampment will really kick off after the welcome briefing and intros.
I would like to add, Commandant, for the cadets and parents, note that the Commandant did say we'll make phone calls. It's not an option. When you first get there, the cadets will be told, directed, ordered to call their parents when they first arrive, unless, as he said, if you arrive with your parents, obviously you'll need to call them. So it's not going to be an option. Cadets will be told they must call their parents upon arrival, and we will give you that opportunity. TAC officers will, TAC officers, sorry, that's old school. Training officers will be monitoring, make sure that you have called your parents as well. I will be putting out an emergency phone number in the next few days. For the parents, it'll be on the cadet program's website. I do ask though for parents. I know sometimes parents, you get a little antsy if you don't hear from your loved one. But please do not call security forces, because what happens is that if you call security forces because you haven't heard from your child in 24 hours, they will send several security police officers to find them, even if it's at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. That happened before, and all because the parent just did not get a phone call from their child. That's not the purpose of the emergency phone. It is strictly, as it says, for emergency use only. Other than that, you can call the commandant or the deputy commander, or even the XO if you need to hear from your cadet. Keep in mind that during the day, it is not recommended that you try to communicate with your cadet because they will be busy throughout the day. They'll either be sitting in the classroom or they'll be out on tours. And we don't want to disrupt the classrooms or the tours, especially when there's active duty people that's actually doing all the tours. And some of the classes will be done by active duty, us and the VIP, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So just bear with us. If not, you can send me an email, parents, and then I will make contact with the commandant, and the commandant will get us through the cadets training officer. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about cadets maybe sent home for holidays. We already talked about all that. Okay, so that kind of concludes what I wanted to talk about. Let me just go back here and I will leave it with the map. I will tell you that I just uploaded, I got some better directions to get from the main gate to Irwin Manor and all. I have just uploaded all that into the encampment webpage. You'll find it in the cadet and senior staff page of encampment, and then also included it in the first year encampment webpage for Louisiana Wing Cadet Programs 1.com. Okay, so you'll find that there. Make sure that you have, if you are eligible, and you have a picture ID, make sure that you bring a picture ID along with your CAP ID card. If it's a minor and you don't have a picture ID and everything else, no worries. As a minimum, you gotta have your CAP ID. But if you're eligible for a picture ID and you have one, bring the picture ID. It's a lot easier for them to let you on base. Because what happens is when you get to the base, what they do is prior to you actually getting, they would do a quick background check on you, make sure that you're a good young man, good young woman, and they'll grant you the access. So picture ID is always recommended, whether it's a driver's license, a permit, a school picture ID, or state issued ID. Bring it with you. Okay, that is all that I have right now. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for some Q&A by my cadets and seniors on the call.
Could I ask a question?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm a mom. So my question is, I know you said that you guys will give them a way to communicate. Are they allowed to bring their phones, or is it no for the phones?
Commandant?
So we recognize that they might need their phone for travel to or from encampment. While they are at encampment, they will not be allowed to have their phones. So if they have a phone when they arrive, then we will likely have them make one last call to you from their phone, just so that we can keep the process moving along. It will then be secured as contraband, so that it will be put in a bag with their name on it. And it will be locked up in storage for the duration of the encampment, and they will receive it back at the end of encampment.
Okay, and so I saw the chow line, and you said that the seniors would be able to, if they wanted something extra, they would just pay for it, I guess, after the other person pays for it. I have a cadet. If she wants something extra, should I give her money? Like, what would she need to do, or is that not an option?
So when we say extra, we're talking, you kind of have the baseline food. And I mean, the baseline options, it's going to be like at breakfast, it'll be, for example, you'll have your choice of eggs, bacon or sausage, hash browns, piece of fruit, things like that. That's all good. It's when we start getting into things, we already said we don't want to deal with the time of like asking for an omelet to be made. But then there are some higher end items that they sometimes make. So while the chicken breast might be $1.25, the steak might be like $2 or $2.50. So it's things like that where we don't want cadets getting extra, buying the more expensive premium things, because we are very tight on funds, and we also really don't have times for them to be breaking out, okay, I'm paying for this, but not that, and all that. So there's plenty of food. They won't be denied food or given, a pittance amount of food. We're going to make sure that they're getting a good balanced meal. These meals are designed by the Air Force with contracting to provide enough fuel for a 20-something-year-old airman who's doing a reasonable amount of work. So they shouldn't need to buy anything extra. And there are just other little items that are sometimes more expensive as well that cadets won't be authorized to get. So like a brownie, the cadets won't be allowed to buy a brownie. But our senior cadre, if they really want a brownie, I'd encourage them to join our PT sessions. I mean, they are responsible for paying for something like a brownie themselves.
Okay, good slip of the lip. Okay.
So should I send her with money or no? Like, no, she doesn't need money.
I'm gonna come on here and just say, as a parent and as an encampment TAC officer, there was plenty of food. It's not like what you think. It's not like a tray they give you with 3 or 4 things on it. It's a food bar line that you go through and go, yes, I want that. Yes, I want that, whatever. So she'll have many choices, and no, they won't need any money because they will not have an opportunity to buy anything in the defect. Everything moves way too fast.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then I just have one more question. Normally my girl sleeps with a fan. Is she allowed to bring a fan at night for to sleep at night?
That's something we haven't discussed one way or the other. When it comes to temperature, it is one nice thing about an Air Force base versus Camp Minden, not to slam the Army, but the Air Force doesn't like being warm places without air conditioning. So we don't have to worry about temperature as much. If it's just about white noise, then it becomes a balance of one cadet's needs versus the remainder of the room. So I hadn't thought of that precisely. I'll have to get back to you.
Okay,
on
great.
that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And just to add to what the commandant said about the food and everything else, it is contractors that are hired to prepare the food, but the head chef, he is also a certified dietitian. So when they prepare food, it's all balanced food according to the health standards of the USDA.
Okay, one more thing I wanted to say about the fan, the little girl that was mentioning about the fan. Just remember that whatever they bring to encampment, they themselves are responsible to carry it from the vehicle to the manor, to the barracks. So if she can carry everything in one trip, I mean, that's what you're looking for. Or if it's a small enough fan that will fit in a suitcase that can clip to something, that would be different. But just keep that in mind, that you're not going to have loads of stuff that you're bringing in there, each cadet.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for the commandant or any of the senior staff or the cadet commander?
I do
Yes.
have a couple of questions. Hello,
Yes, who's speaking?
Christine Gill.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, I had a few things that I had just compared on the list, and maybe you guys can just clarify for me. I didn't see shirt stays on the new list unless I overlooked it. Is that an optional thing now, or is that what's the verdict on that?
If a cadet really wants to bring them, they can. I know sometimes it helps with some of our smaller cadets where they might be below the size that the uniform is designed for. That being said, they're not going to be in blues all that much. I used to wear shirt stays for a long time. So Colonel Santana didn't go over this, but I'm an active duty officer as well. And they have their pluses and minuses, especially when you're walking and marching a lot. They can rub and add extra chafing, things like that. If they have shirt stays, I also recommend the ones that have a stirrup on the bottom rather than a clip. I have been in formations before where a clip lets go of a sock, and that is an uncomfortable experience for someone when they're standing around. And there's also a matter of timing, that their shirt is to be presented in a certain way. And so they'd have to add and remove the shirt stays and things like that. So it isn't contraband. It isn't recommended. Again, if they have it, if there's a little bit of extra space in their personal area, they can have it, but it's not, I also didn't want to require it because it's a cost that is not required by regulation or anything like that.
Okay, and do they not need civilian clothes at all now?
There should be no need for civilian clothes.
Okay, and gloves is there gloves required for obstacle course?
So Keesler Air Force Base does not have an obstacle course, so
Okay.
we don't need the leather gloves for that.
Okay, and my last question is an iron for preparing for the blues.
So
Want me to
I
answer
would,
that?
rather cadets not bring irons. We can make sure that we have a couple available, but they're currently the plan. They're only going to be wearing blues a couple times. So the uniform should be ironed before it's arrived and then transported carefully. But I don't want cadets having irons in their rooms or things like that. So we will have irons available.
So it's okay if they bring those like in a closed bag or something like that?
I would prefer them not bring individual irons.
This is Colonel Iglesias. We have 7 or 8 irons that we will already have there. Plus ironing boards. So it'll be up to the TAC officers to work that out. But we will supply them. They do not need to bring anything.
And do
Thanks
they need a
very
beach towel for swimming, or is that going to be the one of the 2 towels that they bring?
If we wind up being able to use the pool, which we're not sure, then one of the 2 towels they bring will be, it'll just be enough to get them dry. And it'll be plenty hot as well. And as has been, I think we didn't mention it very in detail, but there are a couple laundry facilities, and some of our support cadre, their job is going to be doing laundry. I saw a question in the chat, hey, do I really need 8 sets of undergarments and things like that? I still recommend it, partially because they are going to be spending time outside and things like that. So you can just get very hot and sweaty. And that's one of those things where it's never bad to have a change of undergarments available when you're being outside a lot in the heat. But it's also a matter of prioritizing our laundry. So we have to prioritize making sure cadets have clean uniforms. So we know not every cadet has been able to get a second set of ABUs. But again, that's there partially because of the heat and how much they're wearing it. So we have a prioritization that we have to look at of uniforms, physical fitness gear, because they're going to be working out in that. And while they're not going to be working out until the evening, it's still a matter of we need to prioritize them getting through their physical fitness gear and things like that. And then the other basic hygiene ones, so something like towels or something like that. Along with the laundry, that's the laundry marker. If cadets can put their last name and first initial on things before they arrive, that is helpful. It should be in a place for like uniform items on a tag or something like that. And then it's a way that it can be sorted out quickly from the laundry. And then, yeah, that's how we will be processing through, because cadets won't be doing their own laundry. So it'll be collected and processed. And we're going to be doing a lot of laundry during encampment, but we still can't get to everything for everyone necessarily every day because of the number of personnel we have.
Commandant, I have a few questions in chat. One is there was a question asked about what is the first year website? I'll be honest with you, that's troublesome to me, because every squadron leadership should make sure that some parents know where this website is, because there's a lot of information that's put up there and it keeps people informed. So I will be making contact with all the squadron leadership to make sure that this is being done, because it's a major form of information. Cadets can get on this website. They can find things that maybe will help answer their questions, as well as the parents. So I'll be taking care of that. There is also another question: would they be bunking with their local squadron cadets? As far as the bunking is concerned, there are several ways that bedding is assigned. I could go through it, but I think I prefer for the either cadet commander or the commandant to explain how the bunking situation is designed and how it's done.
So I'll go over the bunking, and then I see the question about also about essential oils. I'm going to classify essential oils as a supplement or prescription or something like that. That being said, absolutely no CBD based things can be brought onto Keesler Air Force Base. If they are and someone is found with it, that gets into security forces dealing with it as a federally Schedule 1 substance. I can't interfere if that happens. So please do not do that. Just throwing that out there. And then as for the bunking, so it's broken down by first thing is seniors and cadets will not be bunking together. So there's a separation there. To the maximum extent possible, cadet cadre and students will not be bunked together. So that's a different group. Cadets over the age, I'm sorry, cadets, all personnel, with the exception of our 2 married couples, are separated by sex. So males and females will not be rooming together. And then cadets under 18 are only staying with other cadets who are under 18. Cadets who are over 18 are rooming with cadets who are over 18. Then we break it down, and our goal is to have flights bunking together to the maximum extent possible. So the flight that they are assigned to at encampment, so they will be with members of their flight. We try to separate siblings from being in the same flight, and also separate students from being in a flight with their parent, if their parent is a training officer. And then we tried to mix the Louisiana Wing squadrons within the flights to the maximum extent possible. Some of the larger squadrons will naturally have people from their own squadron mixed in. Flights are fully integrated, so there is a mix of male and female cadets within each flight. For the question about types of luggage, they just need to be able to carry it. Whatever it is they're carrying, they're expected to carry their luggage. So it doesn't require a specific thing. They'll just, after everything's unloaded, they'll just have a place where their luggage is set for the remainder of encampment, likely within the closet within their room.
And then there was a question by, I believe, Cadet Blaze. Do you have, I don't know if it's a cadet or parent, but anyway, do you have any information about graduation? What time will it be, and can parents attend? We're gonna look at the area that Colonel Stern mentioned a little while ago. So once the encampment gets going on day 1, we will be updating the website that we have for encampment, and it'll have the information on graduation. Just be prepared that if you have parents that want to come to the graduation, I'm gonna need driver's license, who's in the vehicle, and for the driver's license, I need the driver's license number, expiration, and of course they also want now the date of birth of the individual. So get that ready, because we won't have a lot of time to run an EAL through, so I get that as quickly as possible. Normally, graduation, we try to target 10 a.m. in the morning because it's the cooler part of the day still, but it's not too early where parents can't drive up there for graduation. Right after graduation, they are dismissed and handed back to their squadron leadership, or they hand it back to the parents. So just know that the day of graduation, when we leave Irwin Manor, we're not coming back into Irwin Manor, and they'll explain a little bit more during encampment as to what is expected for cleanup days and so on and so on. But keep an eye on the encampment webpage.
What clothes should students arrive in? They should arrive in their ABUs.
Do cadets need to label all, oh, I'm sorry, Major Sorrell, thank you. She already answered that, yes, label the clothes. Let's see. Do cadets bring a calling card? Captain Creel answered that, said yes. If they don't have a phone, a cell phone, nothing like that, not even through contraband, most of the seniors are kind enough to let the cadets use their cell phone to call home at least. Now they'll be limited on time, but they'll be able to make those phone calls.
Colonel Santana,
Yes,
might want to go over the question of bringing cash if they're going to be allowed to go to the BX or something like that.
I think the cash was discussed, but maybe not in terms of going to the BX or anything. That was talked about DFAC. Commandant or Cadet Commander, you want to talk about cash or Colonel Iglesias, since he's the finance officer?
Cadet, so we put on the list, cadets should not bring more than $20. There's really not much, we're not expecting any opportunities to spend money on anything. If we wind up having an event where, or if a squadron, if they're getting a tour of a squadron and the squadron wants to sell patches or knickknacks or whatever, then those generally are, you know, $5 to $6. So no cadet has any reason to bring more than $20.
Okay, next question on chat is, I see this call is recorded. Will it be on the site or emailed out to, I prefer to email it out to each squadron leadership, because there may be several cadets that also wanna sit in and view it, maybe at an upcoming squadron meeting. I will email the link to the squadron. Can you give us a brief of what the daily schedule will be like? I will turn this over to the commandant, but first I want to tell you that the one thing, I've been in communication with an organization, NFL organization, and I just got the final word last night that we reached an agreement. So on day 2, you will actually have a VIP, is an NFL alumni who played for the Saints. And he's actually going to appear and give a briefing on setting goals and leadership for the cadets. So that's going to be your first experience. And it's the first time that that's ever been done. But he has agreed to it. So that'll be your first briefing on the second day, which is Sunday after lunch. Okay, the rest of the schedule, Cadet Commander, Commandant.
Sure, I'll take this one. Cadets will get up early since we have cadets online. I'm not going to say when, but they will get up early. They will have opening. So after temperature checks and such, they will have opening formation. Just as a good way to start the day. They will go to breakfast. There is then a training block. So they'll receive training on the encampment core curriculum, which can be found on the Go Civil Air Patrol website through the Cadet Library if you really want to go see it. And then they will have lunch. There is another block of training for either academic, drill, tours, whatever. They will have dinner. And then there is a short break of not physically intensive activity so that they can make sure dinner settles. And then there will be calisthenics in the evening, team sports, and then there will be time with their cadre, kind of checking in and going over the day, things like that. They will have personal time to prepare uniforms, do whatever they need to do, at which point there will be no training during that period. There will also be personal hygiene time for showers, things like that after that, they will be checked for blisters, and then they will go to bed and repeat it all again the next day.
Okay, and with that said, well, let me throw this one out at the cadet commander. Can you briefly let them know about PT?
So physical training will be put together in a way where everyone will be able to do it. So whether you are a very young, brand new cadet who is, say, 12 years old, or one of the older cadets like myself who is 20, it will be spread out and developed in a way where you will progress throughout the week to give you an idea of what you should be doing daily, even at home, just to keep your physical condition in good shape and be building up. Because, as you know, our PT program in the Civil Air Patrol, the requirements get tougher and tougher as you get older. And then the SPOTS PT requirement is USAFA's PT test. So it will be to instill a good idea of physical fitness in you, as well as develop your physical ability to accomplish many things within Civil Air Patrol.
Colonel Series, what time are you changing PT to?
So we are putting PT in the evening because that logistically helped out with not needing 2 showers in the day, as well as just trying something new. I think it'll be a lot better. You won't be waking up and being groggy for PT. You'll actually be awake and motivated, and it'll help you wind down for the day, as well as getting ready and warmed up for daily sports.
So for the cadets out there, PT being done in the evening, right after you get done with PT, then you could go in personal time. That means that's shower time and everything else. And after that is bedtime. So it all kind of lines up a lot better that way. Okay, I have another question. Any restrictions on duffel bags, backpacks, luggage? Okay, I'll answer that one then. Basically, just don't make it difficult for the cadet to carry around, whether it's a luggage, a duffel bag, or whatever the situation is. Remember that whatever you pack, your cadets are lugging around with them for in processing and so on. So just make things neat as possible. Some of the luggage will go into the closets. And it's shared space. We want to make sure that we don't overwhelm a closet by one or two individuals, and then the other two are out of luck. What clothes should we arrive in? You should be in uniform. You will not be allowed to in process out of uniform.
ABUs specifically, you must show up in ABUs.
Yes. Okay. All right. Another question. Let's see. Okay, something about somebody answered. They thought the website question had to do with pictures that will be posted every evening. Okay. Normally I have my own photography website. I have given the password and access to the PAO. So every year when the end of the day comes around, we post all the pictures in that website. Every squadron will be emailed, and I will also post the link on the website. We'll be given the link to where the pictures are located, and parents can go in there and look at the pictures. And if they want to download a picture of their pretty little pet in proper uniform, you're certainly more than welcome. So hopefully that answers that. But we'll be posting pictures just about every day. The last encampment, we posted a little over, by the time the encampment was over, we posted about 3,200 pictures. So there'll be plenty. Parents attend graduation, can cadet ride home with the parent? Yes, they can. You'll have to sign into the encampment, and then you will also be required to sign out. And part of the sign out process is that on the sheet, you will have to know who you're going home with. I highly highly encourage that when you make it home safely, make sure that your squadron leadership is aware that you made it home safely. We may ask that you notify us as well, but that'll come late. Cadets may go, okay. Limit to immediate family or number who can attend graduation. Obviously, for that, we don't want to overwhelm the main gate. So I would say immediate family, but that also includes grandparents. So we need to arrive in BDU. We already answered that one. Actually, it's ABUs. Yes, cadet. Okay. What uniforms are senior TOs to wear? You can wear any combination of the uniform, polos or aviator. But definitely, if you're gonna wear blues, you will be looked at very, very closely by Keesler. They're very particular on that. So, any cap approved? Okay, somebody answered that one. Black shorts and t-shirts for nighttime, or is the navy blue and tan part of the nighttime wear? That commander, commandant, anything?
So it was mentioned there. Basically, so the first day it'll be a little bit of getting through the cycling of clothes, but the intent is that they will just use the same type of clothes for sleep and then PT. So the first night, well, every night we will emphasize that please do not sleep in the stuff that you just used for PT. But this is why we are doing laundry throughout the day, is to make sure we can get through the laundry so cadets have something comfortable to sleep in, and then they will be changing out of it, and then they can use the thing that they slept in, since they shouldn't be sweating heavily in that. They can use that for PT the day when they wake up. It can be set aside and they'll be able to use it for PT that evening or with the number we have. So they'll have the specific details, but that is why we're using the same stuff for both.
Lieutenant Tryman. Sorry.
Yes.
Can I ask a question about the PT clothes? There was a question brought up to us that they were going to change the color from white to something else.
So the most recent packing list that you should have should be dated 19 June. And the color on that is black. So if you're looking at a packing list that is not dated 19 June, it is not the most up-to-date one.
Okay. Okay. Also, we have 3 cadet staff members that are from our squadron, Tangipahoa Cadet Squadron, that are not on the cadet staff list. Could someone address that?
Captain Morgan contacted me about that. He and I have been discussing that this evening, and I'm going to be addressing that with Cadet Aceves this afternoon.
Okay,
so
great.
Move forward with that. So
okay.
Some of it has been because at first we were having to keep the cadre very, very small when it looked like we were going to have about 50% fewer beds than we currently have.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much.
The other thing to add to that is that some of them did not fill out the request for preparation, the Google Doc. So that was probably another issue. They might have put it in their application, but they never submitted the Google Doc form. And that's pretty much how the commandant and cadet commanders start putting their cadre together off of that list. So that could be the reason why. Okay, where can we get the most up-to-date list? If I need to resend it, just let me know. I will also upload it to I sent it out via email instead of uploading it. I figure that's quicker. And a lot of people don't use the website like I was hoping. But I can resend it out again, and I can upload it into the website as well. Somebody answered that, and Lieutenant Nelson is correct. Packing list was sent to your CC and DCC distribution. Somebody has Cadet Howard has a question on about PT.
I was just speaking for my squadron. Some of the cadets, when we start doing activities from PT, some of us have shortness of breath really fast. What will we do about that?
Okay, when and the commandant will probably kick in as well. But just so you know, this is why we have the medical form attached to the application, and any additional extra stuff that you and your parents think that we need to know, you need to make sure that that is included in the information that's given to us. Now, I will tell you that for HIPAA, which basically, for those that don't know, HIPAA is basically the guidelines as to the privacy of medical information. So if you give us anything like that, the only ones that will have it are those seniors that have a need to know only. So it's not where it's going to be publicized. So if you have shortness of breath during certain things, or whatever it is, yeah, definitely let us know, because we can help monitor that, and we'll know how to deal with it if anything comes about, which we hope it doesn't. But I think also doing PT in the evening would be a lot better, because you're not in the heat of the day, so you're a little bit cooler. So that may decrease the possibilities of that happening. Commandant, anything you want to add?
Sure. Sure. So during PT, this is one of the other events that training officers will be monitoring cadets closely. I definitely want to see cadets challenging themselves, but not pushing themselves to a dangerous level. So as was said, we do need to know about that. If you have shortness of breath or something like that. If it's an issue that you just haven't done PT before, I recommend doing a little bit of acclimatization over the next few weeks. So spend a little bit of time trying to build up your endurance a little bit. If it is a medical issue, Colonel Santana addressed that. So we're going to look from the best efforts from all of the cadets, but we recognize that different cadets face different challenges, and we'll take that into account. So you don't need to worry if you have a medical issue. You're not going to be ridiculed or anything like that for it.
I just want to second what Colonel Tryman just said. We're looking for how much effort you're putting into this, not necessarily your ability that you're putting into it. So if you have a medical reason that you can't go all the way and meet whatever expectation is written down on a piece of paper by National, that's understandable. You have a medical reason, but we want you to try, we want you to challenge yourself, and we want you to strive for excellence, strive to do your best. As someone who has asthma and who has struggled with PT all my life, we're just looking for someone, or for people who will try, who will push themselves, not to a dangerous limit, of course. We don't want anyone keeling over. Our number one focus is safety, but we want you trying, and we want you putting your all into what you're doing, no matter what it is. So, and
I want to thank.
What you'll be able to do. Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay. I want to thank Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Severies for that. I also want to thank Cadet Second Lieutenant Fogelman for his comment on exercises. Prepare before you come to encampment. That includes PT. His chat, the exercises I recommend in preparation would be push-ups, sit-ups, and running. And that's the key, is to prepare. Same thing with sodas that I mentioned earlier, and energy drinks and all that. You can't have that at encampment, so prepare not to have it at encampment. So practice what's going to happen at encampment before you ever get to encampment. Also, on my share screen, I'm showing you what the main page of the website looks like. And you can see up here in the corner, that's the website information. So if you click on these three bars over here, it has a sub menu that it'll bring up. Go down to encampment. You click on that plus. I'm just gonna go real quickly. What's on there? I mean, the first page says encampment. All right, here's some dates, important information here, manner, and then just a quick look at some things that we've done at encampment. Now, you will also have parents and squadron leadership. Just a quick thing on encampment medical. This link right here is going to be updated to the 2021 once encampment gets started. So you'll be able to see pictures. The bottom portion here, right now, I targeted, of course, the 18th of July at Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi. Time will be, we try to do it at 10 o'clock. However, keep an eye on this for any updates and changes. And then here's the thing about phones. The newsletter, PAO will be doing a daily newsletter, and that will be posted here. Each newsletter that they come out will be posted here. Newsletters have not only quick articles as to what the cadets did that day, but there'll also be some pictures in that article.
Colonel, it's Captain Creel. I want to interject on that. Yes,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
newsletter will be posted, but usually it'll either be posted that evening late for what happened that day, or it'll be available first thing the next morning for what happened on the previous day. But we'll try to get it posted as soon as we can with just a short synopsis of what took place with a few photos.
Thank you, ma'am, for that. And she's right. You know, we have to wait to basically the end of the day to start posting articles and pictures and all that. So the best bit I can tell you is look for the next day morning. You can start going through it. Or if you like to stay up late night, then you can wait for that to happen. I will tell you, though, that every time that something is posted here, doesn't necessarily get emailed out to the squadrons, because it just be too much going back and forth. So just keep an eye on that web page, and you'll see when something is uploaded. Okay. The next thing that you'll see is like the cadet staff and senior staff only. It's got some information there, some dates, some quick. This is going to be updated here, the equipment list on both the cadre and the first years, and I'll do that today. Some reporting time. Now, I just got a better confirmation with instructions and all that on once you get to Keesler, where the main gate is, and how to get from the main gate to Irwin Manor, which is this area right here. And then here's a step-by-step instruction. So hopefully that'll help everybody as well. Okay.
Colonel Santana, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to, my name is Lizzie. Ethan James is my son. He's going to be a flight commander this year, and I'm just a parent. I apologize. I don't know a whole lot about all of
it's
the
okay.
stuff,
Okay.
but I wanted to just encourage the first time parents real quick, because I feel like my son's already been through it one time, and it was, I never had any worries about him the whole time he was gone. I felt very informed the whole time he was there. I never had any concerns about his safety. And if there was any concerns, I was informed. And then, I felt like he was very well taken care of. But the thing that I saw the most out of it was when he came back that week after of encampment, he was so self-disciplined. It taught him so much character building and everything. And so I know that some of the rules look very rigid, especially for us moms, but really it teaches them so much and they come out so much better on the other end. So I just wanted to tell the moms that are, worried or concerned or have questions and all that. It's really been it was amazing for him, and he is super excited to go back, and just he loved every bit of it. So that's all I want to say.
Oh, no, I thank you for that compliment of the encampment, and I'm happy that your cadet took advantage of the learning opportunities. We can only do so much, and you see that as father level too. You can only do so much. It's up to the individual cadet to use the knowledge that they're being taught. Encampments are not just there to see how much we can pressure cadets. It's life learning lessons, it's responsibilities, it's teamwork, leadership, and the list just goes on and on and on. So thank you for that comment. With that said, also, if a cadet has any concerns or issues, we are prepared to help the cadet. I want to assure parents that if it's anything dealing with spiritual, we do have a certified chaplain that will be at encampment the whole time. So if that's something that's needed, we have that. And we'll also be allowing cadets to do Sunday services of their choosing. We're going to try to arrange all that. And for those
Lieutenant Colonel Santana, real quick.
Yes.
I'm also the wing diversity officer for any parents that are on it, and religious and access to religious services are one of the big initiatives we're working on in diversity. So to piggyback off Lieutenant Colonel Santana, they will have access to any religious services that are requested. That is a #1 priority at any CAP event.
Well, thank you, sir. All right, so I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we try to provide as much as we can as best as possible. But we understand that you can plan all you want on paper, but you always expect the unexpected. We'll try to correct, learn from it, and press on. The main thing is for the cadets to be safe and have a good learning experience. Okay, before I go on to, there's another chat thing. That's for the cadet staff. The last thing I want to show you actually has to do with what's in the first year page.
Actually,
That's
Lieutenant Colonel Santana, I have a senior member question real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Any senior members that plan to wear ABUs, do we have to wear the black shirts, or can we still wear our tan shirts?
You should be wearing the tan shirt.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good question. Again, down here you see I've also included the same information on how to get to Irwin Manor for the first years. So that's there. Now, there are tips here as well. You can see over here it's got medical alert, and that's good information that was actually put together and given to me by at the time a medical officer. Of course, we're not allowed to have medical officers anymore, but we do have what I call medical admin, and that is because we do need to document any medical situations and so on and so on. So we'll do that. All we can provide is basic first aid stuff, Band-Aid, moleskin, which, by the way, moleskin, I highly recommend that every cadet bring moleskin with them. If you don't know what it is, get with your cadet commander or your commandant. They can explain that to you. But the medical alert portion, just a real quick snapshot, talks about camel pack cleaning, and this is very good information right here, how to clean your camel pack so that you don't get any bacteria in there. And then there's a section here that also talks about safety and health. And this is the hydration chart, which Commandant, I would recommend that this get posted in each restroom of each room, so that the cadets can can monitor themselves as well, you know, if they need to hydrate. And when I say post this, cadets, please not tack, staple, or tape anything on the walls. All right. Did the chart here. I'm sure your commandant and your cadet commander are fully capable of knowing where to put this information for you. But please, no staples, no tapes, no thumbtacks, nothing on the walls. And then just some more information on nutrition and what the food pyramid is and so on. So there's good information on this website. So if you haven't gone to this, please do so and look through it. It even talks about, here's a uniform page. Of course, this is BDUs, but we're going to be switching that to the ABUs. Here's some ABUs. Here's boots, and some quick things on shining the boots, how to shine the boots and the shoes. So there's good stuff here. Just go through the website. I'm sure you'll find some good, important information on it. Somebody has to sign out. I understand. Thank you for being on the call. We're just about done. Okay, so with that said, I'm going over what I wanted, which was an hour and a half. So let's just wind it up by simply saying, are there any last minute questions for any of us? If you think of one later, just email to your cadet commander if you're a cadet or the commandant. Seniors, you can email me if you have any other questions. Hopefully this training or this orientation was helpful. And it'll help relieve some anxieties, especially when I show you the rooms. I'm sure everybody was like, yes, private restrooms. That's the first thing. So last call. Anybody else? Questions? Senior staff, anything? Cadet commander, anything?
Is there a deadline on when or how soon you would like the driver's license numbers on our guests coming to graduation?
Start gathering it now.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna have to do another EAL letter just for the graduation. And they really want it no less than 72 hours prior, which means I need to have it earlier than 72 hours. Okay, anything else? No? With that said, you all have a great Saturday. We look forward to having you at encampment, and hopefully you're a little bit better relieved than when you first called in. If there's anything we can do to help you out, please let us know. Again, thank you and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vic. Another great job as always, brother.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm honored to hear that from you, sir. Appreciate you.
Take care, brother.
All righty. I will remain on the call for an extra few minutes in case anybody has any last minute thoughts.
Do you want to stop recording at this point?
Oh, good call. Yes.